The sky above Earth turned black with shadows. Hundreds of alien warships shaped like jagged teeth sliced through the atmosphere. Commander Vrax of the Zorgath Collective stared at the planet below through his ship's viewports. His four eyes blinked in unison, scanning the glowing cities. "Pathetic," he growled, his voice a guttural rumble. No defenses, no armies, just noise. The Zorgath had studied Earth for decades. Their spies, tiny drones disguised as birds, had mapped every road, every power plant, every school. Human technology was a joke. Their weapons, rocks, compared to Zorgath plasma cannons. Even their satellites were ancient, spinning in orbit like forgotten toys. "They'll surrender before we land," said Lieutenant Grillnix, polishing her claws. "Or die screaming. I prefer the second one." But as the armada descended, something felt wrong. The ship's sensors flickered, not with static, but with silence. "No radar pings," muttered Grillnix. "No fighter jets. Nothing." Vrax's tail lashed. He'd invaded 37 planets, and everyone had fought back. Even the weakest species launched missiles. Even the dumbest civilizations sent panicked radio calls. But Earth? Quiet. Too quiet. Then the hum began. It wasn't loud. It wasn't sharp. It was a vibration, like a giant tuning fork had been struck somewhere far away. The hum seeped into the Zorgath ships, rattling bones, buzzing in teeth. Crew members clutched their heads. "What is that?" shouted a technician. "Scan it," Vrax barked. The technician's screen died. So did every other screen on the bridge. For 3 heartbeats, the mighty Zorgath fleet was blind. Then the sky tore open. Above New York City, the clouds parted like curtains in a theater. Not scattered, not blown away. Parted. A perfect circle formed in the heavens, revealing a void darker than space. And from that void, they emerged, star destroyers. Mile-long warships, sleek and black, slid into view. Their hulls gleamed with metallic plates that drank in light. No flags, no emblems, no windows. Just rows of massive gun turrets that rotated slowly, tracking the Zorgath ships like predators locking onto prey. "Impossible," Grillnix hissed. "Their factories couldn't build that. We've monitored every factory on Earth." Vrax's claws dug into his command chair. His mind raced. Zorgath scouts had reported no human space program, no orbital stations, no warships. But here they were, dozens of them, floating in silence. "Target their engines," he roared. Grillnix hesitated. "Commander, our weapons." A low thrum echoed from the star destroyers. Not a weapon blast, not a warning shot, just sound. Deeper than thunder, louder than a volcano. It slammed into the Zorgath ships like a tidal wave. Alarms blared. Lights exploded. Crew members collapsed, clutching their ears as blood trickled from their noses. Vrax's own vision blurred. He saw the star destroyers on his screen. Then the screen died. He saw them through the viewport. Then his eyes filled with tears. "Retreat," he screamed. "Full retreat." Grillnix stared. "But Commander." Now. The Zorgath fleet veered away, engines roaring. As they fled Earth's gravity, Vrax watched the star destroyers through streaming cameras. They hadn't moved, hadn't fired, hadn't done anything but exist. And yet the entire armada was in chaos. "What? Were they?" Grillnix whispered. Vrax didn't answer. He stared at the dying feed from the scout drones. One last image filled the screen, the star destroyers still hovering over New York, still silent, still watching. Then the feed cut to black. Hook. The humans hadn't built those ships. So who or what had? Word count, 500. Part 1. Continued. The ghost signal. Back on the Zorgath flagship, the crew scrambled to repair systems. Engineers cursed as circuits sparked. Medics dragged. Unconscious soldiers to triage. Vrax paced the bridge, his tail lashing. "Report," he snapped. "Shields at 12%, said a technician. "Engines damaged. Communications with half the fleet are gone." "Casualties?" "Unknown." Many ships are missing. Vrax froze. Define missing, the technician swallowed. They're just not there, no debris, no distress calls, like they vanished. A cold dread crept into Vrax's gut. He turned to Grillnix. Replay the footage, every angle. The screen flickered. There it was again, the Star Destroyers, the hum, the panic. But this time Vrax noticed something new. They weren't alone. Faint shapes lingered at the edges of the feed, shimmering outlines like heat mirages. Ships, creatures? The footage blurred, then cleared. The shapes were gone. Enhance the image, Vrax ordered. The technician nodded. The screen zoomed in on one of the ghostly figures. It looked like a creature, a massive, winged beast made of smoke. Its eyes glowed red. Then the frame glitched. It's not interference, Grillnix murmured. It's hiding itself. Vrax's claws clicked together. Send a message to the council. All frequencies demand answers. The technician typed frantically. No response. Only static. Then, a new signal pierced the noise. It wasn't a voice. It wasn't music. It was a sequence of tones, a pattern. Da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da, Morse code. Grillnix's jaw dropped. It's English. Vrax leaned closer. The translator decoded the message. Do not return. They are watching. The screen went dark. Final hook. The Zorgath would have rather died than admit fear. But as they fled Earth's orbit, every soldier on the flagship whispered the same word. The Zorgath flagship trembled as it limped into high orbit, engines sputtering. Commander Vrax paced the bridge, his claws leaving gouges in the floor. Analyze the footage. Now. His voice was a snarl, but beneath it lurked fear. The crew obeyed, their fingers flying over glowing panels. Scans confirm. The science officer, Zira, hesitated, her antennae twitching nervously. The Star Destroyers, they're not emitting energy signatures. No heat, no power flow, no life signs. They're empty. Vrax's tail lashed. A bluff, a hologram. No, Zira said. Too detailed, too stable. Holograms flicker. These ships are solid, but they're inert, dead in space. Then, why did they scare us? Grillnix muttered, her claws still stained with the blood of her own panic. Why did our systems fail? No one answered. The hum, the sound lingered in their bones like a poison. Hook. If the ships were dead, why did they feel alive? Vrax ordered drones to inspect the Star Destroyers. 20 tiny probes zipped toward Earth, their sensors humming. The crew watched the live feed, breath held. The first drone reached a Star Destroyer. Its mechanical arm reached out and touched the hull. Nothing happened. Scan it, Vrax barked. Zira frowned. The metal, it's absorbing the scanner beams, like a black hole. We can't see what's inside. The second drone hovered, near a gun turret. The camera zoomed in. Dust coated the barrel. Decades of dust. These ships haven't fired in years, Zira whispered. Maybe centuries. Then they're relics, Grillnix said, her confidence returning. Trophies from some ancient war, the humans kept them as monuments. Vrax wasn't convinced. Why would primitives build monuments this big? The feed cut to static. Then, the drones died, all 20. Every screen went black. Alarms screamed. The flagship systems froze. Lights blinked out. For 13 seconds, the mighty Zorgath fleet was blind, deaf, and helpless. When power returned, Vrax stared at the unmoving Star Destroyers. His voice was a whisper. We're leaving. Hook. But Earth's silence was louder than any weapon. Back. On the planet, the Zorgath scouts reported bizarre findings. Cities stood untouched. Food in restaurants was still warm. TVs played old sitcoms. No bodies, no blood. Just emptiness. What happened to them? Zira wondered aloud. They ran, Grillnix said. Cowards. Then where's the evacuation? Zira countered. No ships, no tunnels, No signs of panic. It's like they vanished mid-step. Vrax's mind raced. He'd seen this before, on a dead world called Klyros. The Klyrosians had vanished overnight, leaving behind perfect replicas of their cities. The only clue? A single word carved into a mountain. Awake. He shuddered. This isn't cowardice, it's strategy. Hook. If humans weren't here to fight, what were they waiting for? As the Zorgath fleet regrouped, a new signal pierced their comms. Not the hum, not the Morse code. This was different. A burst of static, followed by a voice. Not human. Not Zorgath. It spoke in clicks and whistles, like a dolphin choking on glass. The translation AI stuttered, then spat out a rough interpretation. You are not welcome. You are not ready. The crew froze. Trace the source, Vrax roared. Zira's antennae drooped. It's coming from everywhere. The ground, the air, the ships. It's in us. Grillnix clawed at her skin. Make it stop. It's not a sound, Zira realized. It's a feeling, like spiders crawling in your skull. Vrax's stomach churned. He'd heard tales of this, psi waves, psychic attacks that bypassed ears and infected minds. But only ancient godlike species use them. Species that wiped out entire galaxies for sport. We're leaving, he growled. Now. But as the engines roared, the signal shifted. The voice softened. Almost sad. You will return when you understand. Shahook. The Zorgath would have rather died than admit fear, but as they fled Earth's orbit, every soldier whispered the same word. Run. Part 2, continued. The Abandoned Planet. The Zorgath scouts descended to the surface, their boots crunching on gravel. The city below, Los Angeles the maps called it, was a tomb. Skyscrapers glowed with streetlights, but no cars moved. Parks sat frozen in time, swings creaking in the wind. Where is everyone? Grillnix muttered. A scout radioed in. Commander, we found something. Vrax stormed into a downtown building. The lobby was pristine. Coffee cups sat half-finished. A newspaper headline read, Climate Summit ends in collapse. Date, March 20th, 2047. That's 20 years ago, Zira said, but this coffee is fresh. Vrax's jaw tightened. He kicked open a door labeled Secure Data Center. Inside, servers hummed. Download everything, he ordered. Zira plugged in. Files scrolled by, videos, documents, music, humans arguing about politics, children laughing, a speech by a leader named Elon Musk. We've cracked fusion power. Earth will never run out of energy again. Then the videos stopped. The last file was a text message. To the stars. Zira clicked it. The screen filled with one line. We don't fight anymore. You wouldn't understand. The servers blinked out. The lights died. The scouts screamed as the building began to collapse, concrete cracking like dry skin. They fled as the entrance sealed itself behind them. Back on the ship, Vrax stared at the text. What does it mean? Zira whispered. They weren't scared of us. They just didn't. Kare. The Zorgath flagship quaked as it fled Earth's orbit, its engines sputtering. Commander Vrax stared at the dying feed from the Himalayan bunker, his four eyes narrowed. The servers had gone dark, the cavern had sealed itself, and the final, text file still burned in his mind. We don't fight anymore, you wouldn't understand. He turned to Zira, his science officer. Decode the signal. Now. Zira's antennae twitched nervously. Her claws tapped the console, replaying the static-laced voice that had haunted the crew. You will return when you understand. It's not a threat, she murmured. It's a warning. Warnings are for cowards, Grillnix snapped, sharpening her claws. We should bomb the planet, glass it, Turn it to ash. Vrax silenced her with a glare. His tail lashed as he paced. No, we need answers. He pointed at the holographic map of Earth. Set a course for the Himalayas. We're going back. Hook. But Earth's secrets weren't done haunting them. The Zorgath strike team descended into the mountains, their boots crunching on snow. The air was thin, bitter. Lieutenant Grillnix led the way, plasma rifle raised. Behind her, drones hovered, scanning for traps. There, Zira said, pointing to a jagged crevice. A faint glow pulsed from within. They squeezed through the ice, emerging into a cavern lit by ancient servers. The machines hummed, their lights flickering like dying fireflies. Zira rushed to a terminal, her claws flying over the keyboard. This data? It's human. All of it. Vrax loomed behind her. What does it say? Zira's antennae drooped. Everything. Wars, inventions, speeches, art. It's like a library of their history. She clicked a video file. A human man appeared on screen, his face lined with worry. The date read, 2005. People of Earth, the man said. If you're watching this, we've failed. Our governments collapsed. Our cities burned. But we found a way to survive, not by fighting, but by leaving. By becoming irrelevant. The screen cut to black. Hook. Irrelevant? How could a species become irrelevant? Zira scrolled deeper. More files. A 2077 news headline screamed, Quantum Mirages, Earth's ultimate weapon. Clicked it. A woman appeared. Dr. Elena Marlowe, the scientist who died in a lab explosion decades ago. Her voice was sharp, excited. We've cracked it. Quantum mirages can project anything. Armies, cities, entire planets. No matter, no energy, just light and sound. She grinned. Imagine a war where no one dies. Where the enemy sees what we want them to see. The video ended. Zira's breath caught. The Star Destroyers. They were illusions. Vrax froze. You're lying. I'm not. She pulled up radar scans. No heat signatures, no power sources, just reflections. Grillnix snarled. Then why did our systems fail? Why did we fear them? Zira whispered. Because the humans made us believe. Hook. Fear isn't caused by weapons. It's caused by stories. Suddenly the servers flickered. The cavern trembled. Dust rained from the ceiling. We need to go, Grillnix shouted. Zira hesitated. One last file glowed on the screen. To the stars. She clicked it. The text was short, but it chilled her to the core. Earth's governments collapsed in 2120. Survivors scattered. We stopped building weapons, stopped fighting, left the cities, left the wars. The mirages were our legacy, a shield of ghosts. If you're reading this, you've seen them. You've felt them. And if you return, we'll show you worse. The screen died. The cavern collapsed. The Zorgath fled as the entrance sealed itself, burying the servers forever. Hook. The humans hadn't vanished. They'd evolved. Back on the flagship, Vrax paced the bridge. The mirages were fake, he growled. But the fear was real. How? Zira's antennae drooped. Because fear doesn't need truth. It needs belief. The humans made us believe in their power, and we fell for it, Grillnix spat. We should bomb them anyway, burn their planet. No, Vrax said. They've mastered something we've never faced. Not weapons, not armies. Irrelevance. He stared at Earth through the viewport. The blue-green planet spun silently, unaware or uncaring. They stopped fighting because they knew we'd destroy ourselves with doubt, with questions. What if they have more tricks? What if they're hiding something worse? His voice dropped. That's the real weapon, not the mirages. The uncertainty. Zira nodded. We'll never know if they're lying, if they're gods, if they're ghosts. And because of that, we'll never return. Vrax turned to his crew. Set a course for Zorgath Prime. Burn the data. Forget. This planet. As the engines roared, Grillnix muttered, "Cowards." "No," Vrax said. "Survivors." Earth shrank behind them, silent and unbroken. Final hook. The Zorgath would have rather died than admit fear, but as they fled, every soldier whispered the same word: run. Part 3 continued. The Ghosts of Earth. Years passed. The Zorgath Collective buried the Earth Protocol in secret files. But rumors spread. Pirates whispered of a planet guarded by ghost ships. Mercenaries told tales of a world where invaders vanished mid-battle. One day, a scavenger ship descended to Earth's surface. The crew crept through a deserted city, their boots echoing. "Where is everyone?" the captain muttered. A junior officer pointed at the sky. "Look." Above them, the clouds parted. Star destroyers hovered, silent, unmoving. The crew screamed and fled, their ship blasting off in panic. Back in orbit, the captain stared at the feed. "Those they're not real." His first mate frowned. "How do you know?" "Because I've seen holograms before. They flicker. They glitch. They're too perfect." The captain swallowed. Maybe the humans didn't vanish. Maybe they're still here, watching, waiting. He ordered the ship away. As they jumped to hyperspace, the star destroyers faded into light, pixel by pixel like a video ending. Earth's skies darkened. Silence returned. The Zorgath Collective's archives buzzed with activity. Scholars, scientists, and spies pored over stolen human data, desperate to unravel the mystery of the star destroyers. Commander Vrax watched from the shadows, his 4 eyes scanning, a flickering screen. It played a grainy video from 2077. A human scientist named Dr. Elena Marlowe, her lab cluttered with equations and glowing wires. "Quantum mirages," she said, her voice crackling, "can project entire fleets, cities, even planets, no matter, no energy. Just light and sound. Imagine ending wars before they start. Imagine scaring enemies into peace." She paused, grinning. "We've cracked it." Vrax's tail lashed. "Peace?" he muttered. "They used it to terrify us." Zira, his science officer, adjusted her antennae. "But how? Mirages require massive power sources. The star destroyers had none." "They didn't need them," Vrax growled. "They made us believe the power was there. That's the weapon." Hook. Fear isn't real. It's a story we tell ourselves. Back on Earth, the truth lay buried in forgotten labs and crumbling cities. In a dusty bunker beneath what was once California, a terminal flickered to life. Its last user had been Dr. Marlowe herself. Her final entry dated March 21, 2047. "Project Lazarus is complete. The mirages work, but humanity won't survive long enough to use them. Governments collapse today. Cities burn. We tried to fix the world, but we're too broken. So we'll leave. Let the mirages protect Earth after we're gone. Let the aliens think we're gods or ghosts. Either way, they'll stay away." The screen cut to static. Hook. The humans hadn't vanished. They'd chosen to disappear. Vrax paced his flagship's war room, his claws gouging the table. Why abandon their planet? Why leave us in guessing? Zira pulled up more files. A 2120 United Nations broadcast. Earth's governments have dissolved. Climate collapse, resource wars. Humanity cannot unite. We surrender, not to aliens, but to ourselves. Grillnix spat. "Cowards." "No," Zira said softly. "Survivors. They left Earth to die, but gave it a shield. The mirages, the legends, the fear." Vrax's stomach churned. "They outsmarted us. Not with weapons, with stories." Hook. Stories are the most dangerous weapon of all. Across the galaxy, rumors spread. A pirate crew attacked Earth's orbit, only to flee when ghost ships appeared. A mining colony on Mars found a human journal. "We gave up. You should too." Even the brutal Threxian Empire avoided the Sol system, whispering of the planet of ghosts. But the Zorgath Council demanded answers. At a stormy summit on Zorgath Prime, Vrax faced his superiors. "They're gone," he argued. "No trace, no signals, just silence." High Chancellor Kurlax roared, "Silence can be broken. Bomb the planet. Burn it to ash." Vrax stood firm. "And if we're wrong, if they're waiting, if the mirages are just one layer?" He leaned forward. "What if Earth's real weapon is the doubt we feel right now?" The council fell silent. Hook. Doubt isn't weakness. It's the first crack in your armor. To test their theory, the Zorgath sent a drone to Earth. It landed in a forest, cameras rolling. For hours, nothing happened. Then the sky split open. A mountain rose from the ground. It towered over the trees, etched with glowing symbols. The drone zoomed in. The symbols shifted, rearranging into words: leave or see more. The drone fled. Back on Zorgath Prime, Vrax stared at the footage. "They're not gone," he whispered. "They're watching." Zira frowned. "But how? The mirages need programmers. The messages need senders. Someone's still here." Grillnick spat. "Then let's find them." Hook. Some truths are better left buried. The Zorgath returned to Earth, landing in the Himalayas. They blasted through ice, revealing tunnels, carved by hands long gone. Deep underground, they found a chamber, a vault lined with servers. Zira plugged in. A file glowed. "To the stars." She clicked it. Dr. Marlowe's face appeared, her voice weary. "If you're watching this, we're already gone. But the mirages will stay. They'll grow smarter, stronger. They'll learn to scare anyone who comes too close. This planet is no longer ours. It belongs to the stories we left behind." The screen cut to black. Hook. Stories don't die, they evolve. As the Zorgath fled, Vrax's mind raced. Earth's true weapon wasn't fear. It was irrelevance. The humans had stopped playing the game. They'd rewritten the rules. Back on Zorgath Prime, the council debated. "Invade," Kurlax barked. "No," Vrax said. "They've mastered the only defense that works. They made us doubt ourselves. Wonder, fear, and wonder is eternal." He turned to the stars. Earth glowed faintly, a blue-green speck in the void. Let them have their silence. Let them have their ghosts. We'll never know the truth. And that's why we'll never win. Years passed. Decades. The Zorgath Collective buried the Earth Protocol deep in their archives, but rumors spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Pirates whispered of a planet guarded by ghost ships. Mercenaries told tales of a world where invaders vanished mid-battle, and every species that heard the stories shuddered and stayed away. Earth remained untouched. Hook. Legends don't need truth. They need belief. By 2150, Earth's population had dwindled to a few million reclusive farmers, AI-curated cities, and scattered tribes who'd forgotten even the word war. The oceans rose. Forests swallowed highways. The last human, cities became museums of a species that no longer cared to rule the stars. But the holograms endured. When a rogue asteroid threatened Earth's orbit, the mirages activated. A fleet of star destroyers materialized, vaporizing the rock with beams of light. The tribes below looked up, shrugged, and returned to their fields. To them, the ships were just another storm in the sky, no more real than thunder. But for the galaxy, they were gods. Hook. The greatest trick isn't to be powerful, it's to make others believe you're untouchable. In 2178, a curious Threxian warlord named Korvac dared to challenge the myth. His fleet descended to Earth, weapons primed. The clouds parted. The star destroyers appeared, silent, unmoving. "Holograms!" Korvac roared. "Fire at will!" His ships unleashed hell. Plasma beams lanced toward the mirages and bounced off invisible shields, ricocheting into his own fleet. One by one, Korvac's warships exploded. He fled, screaming, "They're real!" The Threxian Empire added Earth to their cursed worlds list. Hook. Sometimes the lie becomes the truth. Back on Earth, Dr. Elena Marlowe's journal became a pilgrimage site for alien anthropologists. Her lab, buried under centuries of moss and ivy, still hummed with ancient servers. One day, a curious Solari explorer found her final entry. "If this works, we'll spend forever as the galaxy's creepiest ghost story. Worth it." The Zolari laughed, a sound like wind chimes, and uploaded the text to their neural archives. They left Earth quietly, refusing to explain what they'd seen. Their people would never know the truth. Hook. The best secrets are the ones you take to the grave. By 2200, Earth's defenses had evolved. The Mirages learned to adapt. When a curious mining colony sent drones to scan the Himalayas, the mountains shifted. They rearranged into a colossal face, a human woman, eyes glowing with starlight. The drones short-circuited. The colony abandoned its mission. The face vanished the next day. Hook. Fear isn't a weapon, it's an art form. Commander. Vrax of the Zorgath Collective died old and bitter, still haunted by Earth's silence. On his deathbed, he whispered to his apprentice, "They outsmarted us. Not with weapons, not with armies, with stories. We'll never know if they're gods or ghosts, and because of that, we'll never return." His apprentice nodded, etching the words into the Zorgath history vaults. Hook. The most dangerous thing in the universe isn't power, it's mystery. In 2300, a child on Alpha Centauri Prime asked her teacher, "What happened to the humans?" The teacher smiled. "No one knows. Some say they ascended. Some say they hid in another dimension. But if you ever see a star destroyer in the sky, run." The child shivered. That night she dreamed of Earth,